Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision related video here on my channel, and today I am going to be taking an early look ahead to the 2026 edition of the Eurovision Song Contest, which, as we all know, will take place somewhere in Austria next spring. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. This is the first video I'm filming for my channel in about a month. I knew that I wanted to take a bit of a break from uploading content because I was filming so much last month, including the week of the 2025 edition of the Eurovision Song Contest, which, as we all know, was won by JJ for Austria in Basel, Switzerland, with the song Wasted Love. I then filmed the long rambling review video, which I'm sure some of you will have seen. And then I took a break, and it has ended up being longer than I anticipated. But now I am back, and it is absolutely my intention to film some videos over the summer months. Of course, what I talk about in those videos will be somewhat general with relation to the ESC, because apart from the host city announcement, which we should be getting at the end of July or early August, I really don't think we're going to be getting too much in the way of concrete news, if you see what I mean, with regards to the ESC of 2026. But nevertheless, there will be a few videos from me. During this break, I've just been focusing on other things, really. I have revisited the 2025 songs and do now have what I consider to be a final ranking, which I may well post online at some point in the near future. I can tell you that my winner of this year's competition has not changed, which is no surprise. That's a very rare thing that my winner changes anyway after the competition. I've been focusing on my physical and mental health and various other bits and pieces as well. I've been doing a bit more writing, which is a great source of joy for me. If you're remotely interested in that, of course, links in the description if you want to check it out. But anyway, let's get into the main point of this video, which is looking ahead to next year's 2026 Austria staged Eurovision Song Contest. This video was going to be a little bit longer. I was going to go through all of the countries that participated this year and tell you what I'd like to see and hear from those nations if they take part next year. But I thought, no, I'll leave that for another time. And I have tried filming these videos numerous times now, and it's not gone terribly well. So stick with me, we'll see how it goes. I have some information in front of me to make sure I don't forget anything too important. The 2026 edition of the ESC will be the 70th edition of it, so I'm sure there will be celebrations to mark that during the week of next year's event. It will take place the first semi-final on the 12th or 19th of May, the second semi-final on the 14th or 21st of May, and the final on Saturday the 16th or 23rd of May next year. The previous two times Austria has hosted Eurovision, it's been in Vienna, back in 1967 and 2015. And if you ask me, it's a done deal. This bidding process is a bit of a waste of time, because I can see Vienna winning the bidding process and therefore hosting Eurovision for a third time next spring. I've been doing a little bit of research off camera. I've been looking at the potential host cities, the venues in question, hotel accommodation, and airports, and all of the other things that you really need to be able to host Eurovision efficiently, and Vienna is the one that's ticking most of the right boxes. So I think it's a bit of a foregone conclusion. However, if you are Austrian yourself, maybe you disagree, maybe Innsbruck is going to do this instead, feel free to let me know what you think. The mayor of Vienna has already confirmed the city's intention to bid. We've also got Graz, we've got Innsbruck, Oberwart, St. Pölten, Vienna, Wels and Linz. And it seems as though three cities have submitted a bid: Innsbruck, Vienna, Wels and Linz. So I will focus on them in just a moment. We have Ebreiksdorf, which I'm surely mispronouncing. This is a place that's south of Vienna. They want to put a temporary arena in place with a capacity for 20,000 people, and possibly another venue for a public viewing which would have a capacity of 30,000. This is sounding promising. However, I don't think ORF, the Austrian broadcaster, or indeed the EBU are going to go big for this, and it doesn't seem as though they've submitted a bid, so they're out of contention. As for Graz, I don't know whether they've submitted a bid. I'd be surprised if they haven't. It's just not marked on this list in front of me. The Stadthalle Graz opened in 2002. It has a capacity of somewhere in the region of 11,000. It's also hosted handball as well as several other events. It's located pretty much in the middle of the city. It's got to be in with a shot if indeed Graz has submitted a bid. As for Innsbruck, we have the Olympiahalle. Now, this is definitely a possible Eurovision host location. It opened in 1963, ahead of the 1964 Winter Olympics, where figure skating and ice hockey events were staged in this location. It has a capacity of somewhere in the region of 12,000. It has been renovated, including for the 1976 Winter Olympics. So there you go. It's also hosted volleyball and handball and other winter-related sports. And it was in contention to host in 2015, the last time Austria were organising the event. As for Oberwart, which has the Messe Oberwart, which must be some sort of convention centre, I don't really know too much about that place, I'll be honest with you. St. Polten, they've got a venue, don't know too much about that, so it's not going to happen. Vienna will leave for just a moment. Velz and Linz, who want to do it together, this is located sort of in the north of the country. They have the Messe Velz, which is going to be a new venue. It's under construction and is scheduled to be completed in March of next year. But let's be realistic, it's almost certainly going to be Vienna. They have the Wiener Stadthalle, which translates as the Viennese City Hall. It opened in 1957, although there are other halls in the venue. Hall F, for example, opened in 2006. Hall D would be the one that's used for Eurovision, as it was in 2015, and that has a capacity of just over 16,000, but it would be slightly less for the competition next year because you've got to put the stage in and the lighting equipment and the green room as part of the arena floor, all of that business, so you're probably looking at about 13,500. Now, I don't know about you, but when I've looked at the 2015 competition over the years, on TV it looks fairly small. I really didn't like the look of it at all. Quite a small stage. The green room took up quite a bit of room at the back of the venue, which means less fans, of course, which I'm not always a fan of. It just looked quite compact, which a lot of people might like. A lot of people do like a more intimate Eurovision. But for what is a fairly sizable venue, it just looked quite titchy on television for some reason. And the 2015 competition in Vienna is not one that I hold in high regard at all, if I'm being honest with you. Not because of the host city. Vienna is great. But more, I didn't really like the hosts, didn't really like the design of the stage. The atmosphere seemed a little bit iffy for some reason. Lots of fake crowd noise, which I really didn't like at all. That was very clear in 2015. So I'm hoping next year it's a hell of a lot stronger. Lots of good songs in 2015, I must say, but it's not a contest that I've really looked back on with terribly fond memories for some reason. Anyway, it's hosted a whole variety of events. Loads of famous musicians have performed there. This year alone, you have had the likes of, when I get there, Billie Eilish has performed there last week by the looks of it. Green Day are there in just a few days' time. Wahey, we like that. Rod Stewart's performing there later in the year. And in the past few years, you've had Robbie Williams, Avril Lavigne, Ariana Grande, Michael Bublé, Elton John, Shawn Mendes, Brian Wilson, rest in peace, 5 Seconds of Summer, Mariah Carey, Slipknot, you name it, they've performed there. It is the go-to place for music events in Austria. And I believe Vienna are going to build a new indoor arena in the near future. Don't quote me on that. I have seen a few things about it over the past few weeks. Don't know what it's going to be called. Can't remember where in Austria it's going to be or where it's going to be in Vienna, more specifically, of course. But that's not going to be ready in time for next year. It is what it is. Now, as of right now, a whole bunch of countries have said that they would like to take part next year. Albania, FIC, that'll be in December. Austria, of course. Denmark, DMGP, February 14th next year. And that's going to take place in a place that I don't think has ever staged DMGP before. It's going to take place in Frederikshavn. Has it been there before? I don't think it has. So there you go, a new venue for DMGP next spring. Finland, 28th of February for UMK. Germany, a new regional broadcaster is taking over the reins. Greece, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Serbia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland and the UK. Andorra will not be back. Boo! Very disappointing. Belgium, they're not happy with this year's results. I'm not surprised. The Flemish broadcaster VRT have said that they would reconsider their future participation if the EBU does not review the voting system in light of this year's outcome. The Walloon broadcaster, RTBF, who will take control of Belgium's participation next year, of course it alternates with the two broadcasters in Belgium year upon year for Eurovision, they've said that they support the stance of their Flemish counterpart. So it'll be interesting to see how that's dealt with behind the scenes. Of course, us Eurovision fans are not privy to what happens there. Bosnia haven't taken part in almost a decade. They've had financial woes. They would like to come back. If we pay off the debt, this is a quote by the former head of the Bosnian delegation, Lejla Babovic. If we pay off the debt by November of this year and start working seriously on participating, we can come back in 2026, but it requires effort from the broadcaster, the state, sponsors and people to choose the right song and come back as serious competitors. Latvia, they're likely to be back, Montenegro too. North Macedonia, a journalist has said, there are a number of artists who have expressed their readiness to represent the country should it return. Problems currently preventing participation include the lack of a suitable selection format, just go internal perhaps, and the cost of participation, which to be fair is going up all the time and is a real problem for a lot of broadcasters. As for San Marino, just yesterday, June the 13th, the director of their broadcaster, Roberto Sergio, said San Marino might not take part next year due to a perceived lack of transparency with the results this year. Which is interesting because San Marino actually qualified for the final in Basel, and that has to be seen as a success, and you want to push on, so you may as well try again next year and see what happens. Slovakia haven't taken part since 2012. A press representative for the broadcaster said that they plan to reassess its participation and may return under favourable budgetary and artistic conditions. So in other words, if we can afford it and find a singer who wants to do it. Now, to be fair, Slovakia do have a few decent artists, so I don't think that they would struggle too much to find somebody suitable. Anyway, Slovenia, they're in a similar position to San Marino and Belgium. The broadcaster is not happy due to concerns surrounding the transparency of the vote, referring to Israel's televote win in 2025. Of course, the voting this year, most Eurovision fans would agree, was an absolute shite show, really, from start to finish. Some of the scoring was very bizarre, and it got very tense, of course, towards the end. Anyway, 14 nations, it says here, have expressed an interest in taking part in next year's event. We will find out the host city by August the 8th. It's almost certainly going to be Vienna, and that's really all there is to say in this video. There's not much else to cover. A bit of a short one from me, but that's the way I wanted it to be. And in the near future, I will film a video regarding what I'd like to see/hear from all of the possible participants in next year's competition. With that being said, I'm now going to wrap up. And yeah, thank you very much for your support over the course of this year so far. Ever since getting this new machine, I've gained a lot more subscribers, and it's always nice to see new people leave comments and things like that. I'm very appreciative. And yes, there will be more videos from me over the course of this summer, so stick around if you are remotely interested in seeing them. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.